Alrighty. When I say the word press, a lot of things might come to your head. Bench press, standing shoulder press, push press, whatever. We're going to go over the Olympic press. And when I say that, I mean the Olympics prior to 1972 had 3 lifts. There was a snatch, the clean and jerk, and the clean and press. I'm going to go over that one and how that relates to strongman today and pressing things that are odd. The Olympic press is really what can be referred to as a 2-hand push, which is where you don't have leg drive in the sense that you dip down and up, but rather the hips would go forward and backwards. And what that would cause is you would literally have people pressing like this, bent almost completely backwards with straight legs and pressing like that. Now, lifters figured this out as a way to circumvent the rules of lack of knee bend. You weren't allowed to bend your knees for an Olympic press. So they started doing crazy shit, like throwing their hips forward, bending like Neo in the Matrix, bending way the hell backwards to the point that for safety reasons they got rid of the press altogether. However, this layback position is the strongest and best way to press things that are odd, like do strict press logs, blocks, sandbags, rocks, stuff like that. Because if you have a sandbag that's very big and far out in front of you, the only way to get that center of gravity over yours is to throw your hips under and to get your back as far as possible. So with the giant atlas stone you're trying to press, it's actually over your center of gravity. Now, how to do this? A lot of people say that this is incorrect, an improper use of your shoulders, and an improper utilization of your upper back. I vehemently and strongly disagree. Now, stand perfectly straight. Here, I'm going to band. If one were to stand perfectly straight up and down with the military position of attention and try to row, look like this. You have a very closed range of motion, and it's very small, and you don't get a full lat contraction. However, and the greatest powerlifter who ever lived, Ed Cohn, says that when he would do barbell rows, he wouldn't do barbell rows like this. He would act like he was rowing a boat and would let his back fully disengage at the bottom, and then to get a full contraction of his upper back, your back naturally bends like this, as if you're rowing a boat. So to demonstrate that standing, if you were to let your lats fully disengage at the bottom, look like this, or then to fully engage them at the top, your chest goes up. Is to get a peak back contraction, it arches your back. Funny, doesn't that look like a laid back pressing position? Rhetorical. So, we've shown with my bro science advice I just gave, supported by Ed Cohn, that to get a peak contraction of the musculature of the upper back, you have no choice but to actually bend your back, because that is how you get a full and complete activation of the erector spinae, the rhomboids, and the lats, is by actively bending your back backwards. So, to demonstrate this and how you would actually set up, I'm going to actually put this in the rack for once. Down. Okay. So, to get in this layback position, I'm going to start with it from here. I was just going to be doing a strict military press, I would get my elbows directly under the bar, like this, stand, and press straight overhead from there. It's nowhere near as powerful as what I'm about to show. Now just to find, this is how to walk yourself into position. You literally row yourself into the bar like that. You have a much better position. You pull the bar down and press up from there. You have it's a lot more powerful. I'll show it again. Now, this is safe to do, provided a couple of constraints. Your glutes have to be fully and completely engaged and tightened the entire time. Otherwise, you risk just bending at your lower back. Secondly, your upper back has to be fully and completely engaged the whole time. So when you're lying backwards, the way I like to think about it is, you're doing a standing incline bench press. However, since you don't have a pad to actually lay against, your upper back and scapula is that pad. So when you get whatever you're holding mounted on your chest, or to start off, when you're unracking the bar from the rack, you have to have your scapula pinned back and down hard, and then flex your lats and everything else to hold that. Combined with squeezing the piss out of your glutes, then you can unrack, step out of the rack, and from this position you can sink down into it and press away from there. Just like that. Now if you're practicing this, you can morph yourself into this position of the barbell just to figure out what it feels like. But once you have something weird, like a sandbag, that's what your rack position is going to be anyway, because you don't have a choice. So, you get your sandbag on your chest. Now you have to be bent backwards to get your hands in, and then sink into that position. And press away. Now I'm a little winded. Just let me know if that's hard to understand, but that's what a layback is. I'm finding a weird way to press a barbell to simulate the position you'll be in with a sandbag. You get strong with this, where it's controlled, so when you move into sandbags and rocks, your body knows what to do.